Even if you believe the official story, that 19 Muslims with box cutters caused 9/11, why did we go into Iraq? Why did we go into Afghanistan? 16 of them were allegedly Saudi Arabian. You know, so why did we go into Iraq and Afghanistan after 9/11? And like I told the man, Saudi Arabia has more atrocious human rights violations than Afghanistan. So, you know, it's amazing that our outrage over, you know, our feminist outrage doesn't extend to people who are having their clitorises removed in Africa, or to Saudi Arabia, or to other countries. But it only extends where our outrage only extends where the empire wants our outrage to extend to.
Yep.
So, I think what I'm trying to say about everything, and this whole thing that's happened in Iran, or happening in Iran, is really reinforcing what I believe and what I wrote about in my book, is that we just can't take anything our government says at face value. You know, that we should, and nothing the media says at face value. I just told you that one story. How often does that happen? How often do they sit around in their meetings, their production meetings, and decide to lie to the American people? Do you guys all remember the White House Iraq group? The White House Iraq group was made up of Karl Rove, Andrew Card, the Ramden Marketing Group, Mary Madeline, who these people still have a platform in cable news. They got together to sell the Iraq War to us. You know, it was exactly like that movie, Wag the Dog. Wag the Dog. And you remember Andrew Card was famous for saying they were going to wait till the fall because you don't roll out a new product in August. They're the ones who came up with the terms mushroom cloud and smoking gun. And that's when we saw all of those criminals get on all the news saying, oh, we don't want the smoking gun to be a mushroom cloud. And now people are believing the fact, or not the fact, people are believing the propaganda that North Korea can reach Hawaii with a nuclear bomb. North Korea can't even reach out of North Korea with a nuclear bomb. And I remember once, before the Iraq War, when they were talking about, you know, weapons of mass destruction, and I was watching David Letterman, and he said that I have good news and bad news. He said the bad news is Saddam does have a nuclear bomb, and the good news is he has to drop it from a camel. You know, we laugh. We laugh. But it's so tragic. It's so tragic that the only reason that they can propagandize us is because we allow ourselves to be propagandized. You know, even that man who was adamantly against Bush in Afghanistan all of a sudden is saying the exact same thing to me the people on the right said about Afghanistan. And I got an email from one of my friends before the election, and she said, Cindy, we need to send more troops to Afghanistan. This was a lady who spent the night with me, the first night in the ditch in Crawford, Texas. I said, you didn't think that when, you don't think that under George Bush. Why would you think support it when Obama says it? And she told me that's a no-brainer. I said, if that's a no-brainer, then I guess I don't have a brain, because I can't figure that out. I can't figure out why sending more troops to Afghanistan, and he's doing just exactly what Bush did before. We're going to send more troops to Afghanistan so we can be victorious without defining what victory is. What does victory look like in Afghanistan? Well, don't ask the Soviet Union. Oh, you can't ask the Soviet Union because they don't exist anymore. And why don't they exist anymore? Because they were in Afghanistan for 10 years. You know, don't ask any other empire that has crumbled because they've tried to subdue Afghanistan. That's a burial place for empire. So, my solutions to the robber class are very simple. You know, there are things that we can all do. And, you know, even though I've only been in the movement for 5 years since Casey died, I've been in the movement. You know, I've been a profound part of it. And I've done everything. I've done everything that anybody can think of doing to try and change the robber class systems. I fasted. 37 days I almost died. I had to have a doctor order me to eat after 2 blood transfusions. You know, I've spent, you know, every penny that I inherited from Casey's death. I've spent every penny I've ever earned back into the movement. I've marched hundreds, thousands of miles. I've been arrested. I've been brutalized by the fascist pigs. You know, I've even run for office. You know, not many people do that. I'm willing to try anything. You know, anything. And I haven't seen a dent. I haven't seen a dent in policy. How many of you have signed a petition, an online petition, to stop whatever, torture, war, for single-payer health care, for whatever? We sign these petitions. I've even delivered petitions. We delivered 1 million signatures to John Conyers. And he said that, you know, I can't do the will of the people. I can't, he actually told me that. We can't do the will of the people. We can't impeach George Bush and Dick Cheney. So 50 of us got arrested in his office when that happened. In Washington, D.C., we take petitions to the White House. We took one with 100,000 signatures to not invade Iran. We took one with 100,000 signatures about something else, I forget. But anyway, 2 times we've taken 100,000 signatures to the White House. Twice they've refused to take it. And so twice we've just started throwing them over the fence. Because that's our First Amendment right, to petition our government for redress of wrong. So what I'm proposing in my conclusion revolution is for us to, we all have very limited energy, we all have very limited resources, and we all have very limited time. So why are we wasting it doing things that aren't effective? So I propose to build local communities that take care of each other instead of supporting the robber class. I propose to build healthy local communities, whether it's families, your neighborhood, your peace community, you know, your church community, whatever, to create our own systems outside of the robber class. The robber class systems, be our own media. You know, the only way we can stop being propagandized by Norah O'Donnell on MSNBC is to turn our TV off. Or turn it to something that's worth watching, like The Simpsons. or The Daily Show. I support watching The Daily Show. He tells more truth. He and Colbert tell more truth in a humorous way than anybody else on network or cable news. You know? Support independent media. Support your local cable access news or your local progressive radio station. Not only support it by listening to it, but support it by donating to it. Build an internet presence for the truth. We can be very successful. We have the means to do this.